People say a single moment can flip your entire life upside down, but I never believed that until the night a powerful CEO looked straight at me and said, "This is my room, and there's only one bed." And when I replied, "Maybe there's room for both of us," I didn't know that sentence would drag both of us into a story we were never prepared for. It started with a storm rain hitting the windshield and violent waves as my 7-year-old daughter Lily slept in the back seat of our old car. We were hours away from home because my company had sent me to attend a last-minute project emergency. I was just a low-level technician, one of the people no one remembered by name. But I didn't complain, single dads rarely do. We learned to survive quietly. The problem was, the hotel the company booked had overbooked almost every room due to a business conference. And the only person who had any authority to fix the situation, our CEO, Aria Sterling. A woman known for her brilliance, strict standards, and a stare sharp enough to crack stone. I didn't want to bother her. She was wealthy, intimidating, and lived in a world light years above mine. But with my daughter asleep, my car soaked, and no other hotel accepting guests, I had no choice. I knocked on her sweet door, heart pounding like I was at the gates of judgment. She opened it wearing a black overcoat, hair damp from rain, frustration written on her face. But when she saw Lily's small sleeping figure in my arms, something in her expression softened. "What are you doing here at this hour?" she asked. "The hotel messed up my reservation," I said quietly. I didn't know who else to ask. "I just need a place for my daughter to sleep." Aria sighed, then stepped aside. "Come in." Her room was massive. A luxury suite with a city view, soft lighting, and one enormous bed. She crossed her arms. "This is my room. And there's only one bed." Something inside me twisted, embarrassment, confusion, helplessness. So I forced a small smile and said, "Maybe there's room for both of us." She blinked, surprised, bewildered, almost amused. Then she shook her head. "You're bold for an employee." "I'm desperate for a father," I replied. That changed everything. She let my daughter sleep on the bed and insisted I take the couch. But as the night unfolded, something unexpected happened. What should have been a quiet, uncomfortable tension began turning into conversations neither of us expected. It felt like the start of a story neither of us asked for, but both of us needed. When morning light broke through the curtains, Lily woke up first. She looked at Aria with wide, curious eyes as if meeting a queen, and Aria, who terrified entire boardrooms, smiled. A real smile. I made her breakfast using the little kitchenette, and when Aria took a bite, she seemed shocked. "You can cook?" Single dads learn fast. Lily giggled. "Daddy burns the first 2 tries every time." Aria laughed, a sound rare enough to feel like sunlight in a room full of shadows. Over the next few hours, the work emergency that brought me there spiraled out of control. The system failure was bigger than expected, and the entire management team panicked. But Aria noticed everything I did: how I carried Lily with one arm while fixing wires with the other, how I solved issues quietly, how I stayed calm even when my supervisor snapped at me. At one point she pulled me aside. "How do you manage?" she asked. "With what?" "Life," she said. "Work. A child. Responsibility." I shrugged. "I don't have a choice." Aria looked at me with a strange mix of admiration and sadness. "Some people break under half of what you handle." That night, the hotel finally offered me a different room, but it was tiny and far from Aria's suite. Before I could pack, Lily tugged at Aria's sleeve. "Can we stay here again? Daddy sleeps better when he isn't alone." I froze. Aria did too, but she knelt down and gently brushed Lily's hair. "Your dad isn't alone," she whispered. "Not tonight." So the 3 of us ended up back in the same room. Same bed for Lily. Same couch for me. Same quiet tension in the air. Around 2 a.m., I found Aria awake near the window, staring at the skyline as if trying to breathe through invisible pain. "You okay?" I asked softly. She nodded, but her voice cracked. "My father used to say love makes you weak." I believed him, until today. She looked at Lily sleeping peacefully. "You've built a whole world around that little girl," she said. "And you didn't lose yourself doing it." I didn't know what to say, but something silent passed between us: respect, admiration, something we didn't dare name. It was the start of a connection we couldn't understand yet. The next day brought chaos. Investors arrived. Systems crashed. Blame flew everywhere, but instead of hiding behind her power, Aria stood beside me, on the ground, working with her hands, helping solve the crisis. The board disliked it. My supervisors hated it. Everyone whispered, why was the CEO helping a low-level technician? Why was she defending him? Why did she keep watching him like he mattered? When the system was finally restored, the board scheduled a press conference to announce it. I expected Arya to forget my existence the moment cameras were involved. Instead, she pulled me and Lily onto the stage. This man, she said into the microphones, saved this company today. Not because he was paid. Not because he was obligated. But because he cares. The room exploded with flashes and whispers. After the conference, her father, chairman of the board, stormed in. His presence froze the air. A CEO does not involve herself with people beneath her, he said coldly. Arya's eyes hardened. People aren't beneath me. He pointed at Lily and me. They are. Lily tightened her small hand around my fingers. Arya stepped forward. If empathy is weakness, then I choose to be weak. Her father glared at her, but for the first time, she didn't flinch. She had changed. Grown. Broken free, because of us, maybe because of herself, definitely. Later that night, we returned to her room, our accidental shelter, our strange sanctuary. Lily immediately climbed into the bed. I sat on the edge of the couch, exhausted but calm. Arya walked over, her expression softer than I had ever seen it. You know, she whispered, there really is only one bed. I chuckled. And maybe there's room for both of us? She smiled, slow, genuine, warm. Maybe there is. We didn't rush anything. We didn't make promises we weren't ready for, but she sat beside me on the couch, leaning her head on my shoulder, whispering, you and Lily, you remind me what real strength looks like. And in that quiet moment, I realized something. She wasn't a CEO, she wasn't my boss, she wasn't untouchable, she was human, lonely, hurting, trying to heal, just like me. What began with a single bed and a desperate night turned into something deeper, a friendship built on respect, courage, and the unexpected tenderness of two broken worlds learning how to fit together. And maybe, just maybe, someday, there truly would be room for all of us, not in a hotel suite, not in a single bed, but in a life built slowly, honestly, and without fear. A life worth sharing.